check string is a palindrome or not. What is a palindrome? How we can check whether it is a palindrome or not, especially with respect to string. So we can try to see this. Similarly, how we can reverse words in a string as well as length of a string. There are multiple ways with the native functions of Python or by your own user-defined functions. You can try to find all this, but I will try to make you understand with 2 to 3 approaches so that you can understand better. Similarly, at last, we'll discuss about functions to convert temperatures. So from 1 scale to, that is Celsius, to Fahrenheit. So this we will discuss right now. So before going to this, let me make you understand what is a palindrome. What is a palindrome? So when I say palindrome, if I reverse it, then I will get the same meaning. So what is a palindrome? A palindrome is nothing but if the string or if the reversed string is same as the original string. Simply I can say a string is said to be a palindrome if its reverse or if the reverse of that particular string will result in the original string. So let me make you clear with one example. So let you take, suppose this particular string as madam. So if you reverse this, right, you will get that original string. Upon reversing, it will get original string, like M-A-D-A-M. It is same as the original string. So how you can try to reverse this particular string and check whether it is equal to original string or not. So let me try to create one Python program, palindrome. So let me take one example. S is equal to, so yes, in the sense it is nothing but string. str, I can also try to define that string. This instead of s, I can try to use this str also. And thereafter, let me define particular string, M-A-D-A-M. So I want to check whether this particular string is a palindrome or not. In order to check, the condition is upon reversing, it should get the original string. So what the things we need to do here? First, we need to reverse this particular string, and thereafter, I need to check whether it is equal to the variable which this particular string is assigned or not. So first thing is I want to reverse. We have discussed slicing concepts in Python. So what is the slicing concept? Slicing, very important. This is, so when I say slicing, what you will do for that particular string, you will provide start value, start index value, as well as end index value, as well as step value, as like range function. So this is nothing but slicing. You will slice. Slice means a part or a piece of a string. So what is that piece? How you will get that piece? By mentioning from where of this particular string index should start from and where this particular index of this particular string should end. And these steps anyway will try to increase how many values we need to step. Similarly, this is nothing but slicing operator. In the slicing operator, we will provide start value, end value, as well as step. So always in a string, as like range function, it will try to consider end minus 1. So we will use this particular concept to reverse this particular string. We have seen, in order to reverse any word or any letter in that particular string, I will use negative step value. When we are discussing about slicing concept, we have said that forward approach as well as negative approach. For forward approach, I need to specify step value as positive, and for negative approach, I need to specify step value as negative. So let me make you understand with some example. You just try to take this particular string. So let me try to print off str. This is the string. What I am doing, I am trying to print that in a negative way. If I want to print that in a negative way, this is what you need to specify, the step value as negative value. So if you don't specify the start as well as index, end index, it will consider beginning of the string, and it will also consider end as end of that particular string. So I have just kept blank here. If I kept blank here, this particular string itself assumes that you have not specified, so I need to take default values. So what I have done, instead of specifying empty start and end values, I have also specified negative step value. When I specify negative step value, it will print the words in the reverse direction. So instead of this string, right, madam, right, I will try to take another value so that you can understand. Instead of like, let me try to take some random value, like sugarcane. When I say sugarcane, it will try to print sugarcane in the reverse order, like, first E, second N, second A, next C, space, R, A, G, U, S. This is in the reverse direction. This is negative indexing. Why it prints in the negative direction? Because I have specified step value as -1. If I specify step value as +1, it will try to print from left to right. When I specify negative value, it will try to print right to left in the negative direction. Let me try to see this. So instead of this, what I will do, I will try to use for loop. I can also use for loop, or I can also try to print as it is. For understanding, let me try to print as it is. If you can see, it has printed in a reverse direction. E, N, A, C, sugar. This is like, from right to left order. So this is nothing but how we can reverse a particular string. We can reverse a particular string by using slicing concept. In the slicing, if I specify negative step value, then it will try to print the words or letters in that particular string in a reverse direction. Now, what I am doing, I have just reversed that string, and I have to check whether it is a palindrome or not. So if it is a palindrome, When I reverse that string, then that should be equal to that particular string only. If I reverse madam, you will get madam only. But if I reverse sugarcane, you will not get sugarcane. Instead, you will get some another name which is of no meaning. So what I will do, I will try to assign the reversed string to some variable. Let me take that variable as reversed string, that is equal to reversed string. What I am doing, I need to check this reversed string upon reversing should be equal to the original string. If it is equal, then it is a palindrome. If it is not equal, it is not a palindrome. I need to check if reversed string is equal to original string or not. If it is equal, print it is palindrome. If it is not, then I need to print else print off it is not palindrome. It is not palindrome. So this is what a palindrome is. So what is a palindrome? If I reverse that particular string, then that should be equal to, that reversed string should be equal to the original string. If it is not equal, then it is not a palindrome. If you can see, sugarcane is not a palindrome because upon reversing, I have got this. So if you can check, this is the reversed string and this is the original string. Upon seeing only, we can judge it is not a palindrome. Let me try to execute this through program. If you can see, it is not a palindrome. Let me try to enable madam. I can check whether this particular string madam is a palindrome or not. If you can see here, it is a palindrome. Upon reversing also, you will get the same thing. So this is about palindrome. Similarly, how you can reverse words in a string. How you can reverse words in a string. Let me try to comment this. Let me try to create another Python file. Let me name that as reverse words in a string. So what is reversing? Suppose you just try to take this particular thing, reversing. So in order to reverse, you just try to answer this example so that you can understand better. Suppose this is the input. This is the input. Input is nothing but geeks quiz practice code. Geeks quiz practice code. This is the word of nothing but it is a string. So what is the reversed version of this particular string? The reversed version is nothing but, so what is the output? Let me try to make you understand with this. So what is the output of this particular thing? So the output should be, upon reversing, you will get code first, practice next, quiz next, as well as geeks next. So first comes last, last comes first. This is nothing but reversing. Then how can you reverse this particular string? Using string functions in Python. If you can see here, this particular string is having spaces. This particular string is having spaces. What I will do, I will try to just split this particular string. I will just split this particular string with respect to space. If I just split this by using the split function in Python, what I will get? I will get list. Geeks is one object or value in the list. Quiz is one object or value. Similarly, practice is one object or value as well as code. So let me try to take this an example so that you can understand. So input is equal to, suppose geeks quiz practice code. This is the string. In this string, I have different words: geeks, quiz, practice, as well as code. So I need to have the reversed string. What is the reversed string? This is the reversed string. I need to print the output in this way. In order to print, if you particularly observe this particular input, which is a string, is having spaces in between words. So what I will do, I will try to split this particular word with respect to spaces. How I can split? So let me try to define. Upon splitting, I will get individual word like geeks, quiz, practice, and code. So what I will do, I will try to assign those variables or nothing but words to a variable. So what is that variable? Words. Upon splitting, I will get words, right? Geeks, quiz, practice, and code. So that is the reason why, just for meaningful understanding, I have just defined this variable name as words. So what I am doing, I'm just splitting this particular string with respect to spaces. str dot split. There is a function in Python with respect to strings, nothing but split. If you can see here, I can use separator. In this case, the separator is space. In this case, the separator is space. So I will mention that space here. So what I will do, in brackets, I will try to mention space here. If I mention space, it will try to consider that separator. This function itself says. So we can try to split that particular code in a string with respect to separator. In this case, if you observe, what is the separator between these two words? Space. Between these two, space. Between these two, space. Similarly, if you can see here, suppose if you have comma in this particular word, you can specify comma here. But what I am having, I am only having space in between them. So that is the reason why I am splitting this particular things. So let me try to print this so that you can print off words. I am just printing the words. Upon splitting with respect to space separator, I will get individual words in the form of list. In the form of list. If you can see here, this is the thing. If you can see, each word in that particular string is splitted as a list. List is enclosed in square brackets separated by comma. Let me try to print it here so that you can understand, right? So this is nothing but geeks quiz practice code. And similarly, what you need to do, you need to reverse this. So upon reversing, I need to again join. So what is the reverse version of these words? First code will come, next practice, quiz, as well as gigs. How I can reverse? How I can try to reverse this particular list so that I can append again. So first code, practice, quiz, gigs. If you can see here, I can try to reverse that particular string. What I can do, I can try to specify -1, and similarly I can specify -1 here. So if I specify words of -1, what it will do, it will try to print, or it will try to update this particular list in a reverse way. I also specified start value as -1. So from where it should start? It should start from -1. This is 1. So if you can see 0, 1, 2, 3. This is the positive indexing. And similarly, this is -1, -2, -3, -4. This is negative indexing. What I am trying to say, this particular reversing, nothing but step, which is nothing but -1, which is nothing but string reversing, should start from -1. What is -1? This is the index position of code. This is -1. This is at the -1 position. From here, it should start reversing. If it starts reversing, then what is its result? That it words. If you can see here, if I am upon printing, what you will get? You will get, see here, this is the original string, or nothing but list, upon splitting with respect to space, and thereafter what I am doing, I am trying to reverse. Upon reversing, what I get, it just a printed code here, and thereafter practice, thereafter quiz, thereafter gigs, So this is nothing but reverse version of that splitted string. Very important. Similarly, what you need to do, I need to print in this way: code, practice, quiz, join. First of all, what I have done, I have just splitted this particular string with respect to separator as a space, which is space as a separator, and thereafter I have just reversed this. What I need to do after reversing, I need to again join them. So what I am doing, I am doing two operations here. First, very important, I have splitted with space as a separator, and thereafter what I have done, I have just reversed it, because I need to print reversed words in that particular string. Thereafter what I am doing, splitted, and I need to join the reversed words. So up to now I have splitted with respect to space as a separator by using split function. Thereafter I have just reversed that by using slicing operator in Python. Right? Similarly, what I need to do now, I need to use join function for joining the words or values in the list, so that I can get the reversed version of this particular string. So what I can do right now, I can join. How I can join? I can join by using join function in Python. So the output should be like this. In order to have, upon splitting this, I need to join. So you can specify a string dot join of words. So what you need to join this particular word. This particular word is nothing but a collection, nothing but a list here. So what you need to do, I need to specify that empty string with it, which it will consider as a space. With respect to space, it need to join the words in this particular list. So thereafter, I'm just printing that output. If you can see here, this is without space. If I just specify space here, it will try to print the space between these words. You can see here. You need to specify the separator here in this. So first you split it with respect to separator only. Later also you just to join with respect to separator only. Right? In this way, you can try to reverse the words in a particular string. This is approach 1 only. And in the material, as an assignment, there is approach 2 also. You can try to practice that, so that you can even get some understanding. Similarly, length of a string. How you can find length of a string? So in order to find length of a string, you need to count how many characters are present in the string, right? So if you can see in this particular string, this is the string, like, let me take candy. So in this particular string, how many words are present? 1, 2, 3, 4, as well as 5. Directly, I can use print of length function in Python with respect to string. So if I use length function, it will directly print how many characters in that particular string. If you can see here, how many characters? Indentation error, because you need to specify proper indentation, otherwise you will get error. If you can see here, total 5 characters are present. So what is the length of the string? 5. Similarly, without the native function of Python, so native function means the functions which comes along with Python. Those are nothing but native functions of Python. So without this native function, how I can try to find the length of this particular string? Let me try to comment this, and thereafter. So native functions are also called as built-in function. Let me try to comment this using built-in function. What I am doing, using built-in function, I am trying to print the length of that particular string. This is approach 1. Let me try to discuss approach 2. In the approach 2, what I am doing, I am just iterating each and every element in this particular string. At the time of iterating, I am just incrementing one variable. So we will get to know how many characters are there in this particular string. In this way, we can count number of characters in a string, or I can say directly length of a string. Let me try to initialize a variable count is equal to 0. So for x is nothing but here each element in the string. For x in string, please iterate count variable count is equal to count plus 1. If you can iterate, it will loop each and every element in this particular string. During looping, it will try to increment the count variable from 0 to 1 and so on up to how many characters are present in this particular string. Let me try to print this, print of count. So count is nothing but length. So count variable ultimately defines how many characters are there in that particular string. These characters count is nothing but the length. Let me try to execute this. If you can see here, total characters present in the particular string, or I can say length of a string is 5.